Welcome back to the channel. USA Coins 69, shine but because of the story it carries. When people talk about collectible coins in circulation, they usually think of pennies, nickels, dimes, or quarters. But what if you were told that one of the most overlooked treasures might actually be the $50 resting unnoticed in an old wallet, a forgotten drawer, or somewhere mixed in your change jar? Today, we are diving deep into the world of the 1973 Kennedy $50, a coin many people have seen but very few have truly examined closely. The coins minted in that year were never officially released for circulation in massive quantities, making certain pieces incredibly valuable to collectors. The moment you pick one up and flip it in your fingers, you can immediately recognize portraits and symbols that reflect American history. Imagine holding a coin that showcases the legacy of President John F. Kennedy, with his profile facing left on the obverse side. The words Liberty arcs around the top, the date 1973 rests at the bottom, and In God We Trust is neatly split beneath the profile. That iconic image has been in every Kennedy $50 since 1964, but the 1973 mint year hides some remarkable rarities. On the reverse side, you see the United States coat of arms, with the heraldic eagle clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. The inscriptions $50 and United States of America circle around the powerful emblem. If you take a closer look at this coin, especially the mint mark, that's where the magic begins. The mint mark on these coins can tell you whether it came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and some of these variations are what turn a common $50 into a true hidden fortune. Most people walk past these coins because they assume modern $50 aren't worth much. But what collectors search for are clean details, strong strikes, silver content variations, planchet errors, double dies, off-center designs, and especially the condition. A well-preserved 1973 Kennedy $50 with a mint mark can surprise everyone. While the majority were struck in copper nickel clad, some collector versions and errors display unexpected characteristics that make numismatists go crazy. Imagine finding one tucked in a coin roll, stored in a family coin jar, or passed down unknowingly with other change. The sound, the shine, the rim details, the lettering sharpness, and little marks around the portrait all tell a story that collectors pay attention to. The value climbs significantly when the coin shows no wear on Kennedy's hair, ear, or cheek, and when the reverse design has clear feather lines and no significant scratches or discoloration. And don't overlook the mint marks. The Denver mint pieces with a bold D, San Francisco proof issues with a graceful S, and the absence of a mark from Philadelphia each carry different levels of interest in the collector's market. Some proof coins were struck with extra care, leaving glossy mirrored fields and frosted designs that make them shine like tiny medals under the light. There are also rumors and confirmed instances of planchet mix-ups where some coins were struck on different metal compositions, creating an unexpected rarity. Then there are the off-center strikes, broad strikes, missing letters, and doubled inscriptions that can turn an ordinary-looking coin into an extraordinary discovery. A single minting error can make a collector pay unimaginable amounts just to own a unique piece of monetary history. The Kennedy $50, especially from the early to mid-70s, has slowly grown in popularity because people are beginning to realize that not all valuable coins are ancient or silver-heavy. Demand increases when collectors hunger for specific dates with low survival numbers in high grade. Many old coin albums are missing this date in pristine condition, which makes it even more exciting when one surfaces. If you have inherited coins or kept old rolls from banks, coin shops, or pocket stashes, this is the time to take a closer look. The color, the luster, the strike sharpness, and the preservation of every line matter. When a coin has been protected in airtight holders, original mint sets, or forgotten drawers away from moisture and air damage, its chances of being extremely valuable rise dramatically. Now think about this. The edge of the Kennedy $50 also gives clues. Some edges show full, sharp reading with no flattening or wear, while others reveal plating issues or irregularities. A coin in mint state condition with brilliant luster and no bag marks can instantly catch the attention of grading services and auction houses. Numismatic experts often grade these coins on a 70-point scale, and reaching the higher end of that scale can mean a stunning payout. Even a tiny error, such as a misaligned die or doubled lettering under Kennedy's chin or in the word trust, can create a buzz among collectors and investors. As time passes, more people become aware of the potential locked inside everyday change. Videos, auctions, estate sales, and social media posts are spreading information that stirs curiosity. Someone could pick up a harmless-looking $50 at a flea market or yard sale and unknowingly own a gem sitting beneath dust or fingerprints. That's why knowledge is priceless in coin collecting. Being able to identify the mint mark, inspect the detail under bright light, and compare examples online or in coin guides can instantly change how you view something as simple as a 1973 $50. Professional grading services have recorded impressive surprises over the years. A single high-grade or error coin can leap from pocket change value to record-breaking status. Collectors especially look for proof coins from the San Francisco Mint with cameo or deep cameo frosting. These coins almost look like tiny sculptures sealed in time. And when no scratches, discoloration, spotting, or hairlines appear even under magnification, the price potential soars. Some rare pieces may have been part of mint sets and then removed carefully, while others lie untouched in storage. If you think you might have one of these or you have easy access to rolls of $50, it's always worth examining each one rather than ignoring them. The thrill comes from finding what others overlooked. That's how some of the most expensive auction records were born. The day someone spots that mint mark variation, die crack, doubled phrase, or ultra-high grade condition is the day everything changes. An ordinary piece of metal suddenly becomes a star of collectors' dreams. And through the years, these coins honor President Kennedy's legacy while rewarding the lucky and observant with incredible financial surprises. So keep your eyes open and never underestimate the value of a coin that looks familiar at first glance. The coin that many think is worth 50 cents might hold unbelievable treasure potential, especially when preserved, graded, and authenticated at the right time. Today, that sometimes show up in bank rolls or older collections, but this special edition struck to honor the 200th anniversary of American independence is on another level of collectability. It's not just the age or the size of the coin that matters here, it's the unique design, the mint marks, the condition, the metal composition, and the small details that separate a common piece from one that collectors dream about. The first thing anyone notices is that unlike the typical date you see on most coins, this one proudly carries 1776 to 1976 on the obverse beneath the familiar profile of President John F. Kennedy. His portrait, designed by Gilroy Roberts, stands bold and dignified with the word liberty around the top edge and in God we trust tucked neatly beneath his chin. But turn that coin over and the story takes an even more historic twist. Instead of the traditional eagle seen on other Kennedy $50, the reverse of the bicentennial edition features a striking image of Independence Hall, where the Declaration of Independence was adopted. The name United States of America and $50 circle the building, and the phrase 200 years of freedom is woven into the design as a quiet tribute to the nation's history. That reverse, designed by Seth G. Huntington, is what makes this $50 instantly recognizable, but that doesn't mean every one of them is the same. People often assume that bicentennial coins are extremely common, and while millions were made in different mints, only a small fraction of them have the traits that bring serious money. The mint mark, found just above the date on the obverse, makes a huge difference. Coins from Denver show a D, those from San Francisco show an S, and those without a mint mark are from Philadelphia. Some special collector versions from San Francisco were struck in 40% silver, and these often come in proof or uncirculated sets. But mint mark alone isn't everything. What collectors chase are the coins with flawless fields, strong strikes, crisp lettering, sharp rims, and brilliant luster. A single tiny scratch, rim ding, haze, or fingerprint can drop the value dramatically, while a perfect or nearly perfect example skyrockets in price, especially if it carries a rare error or comes in a high grade. Think about this coin's journey over nearly half a century. Many ended up in drawers, piggy banks, forgotten tins, inherited estates, or boxes of change collected by parents and grandparents who kept them simply because of the special date. Some children were given them as keepsakes and never thought to check the details years later. Others were preserved in sealed mint sets and never touched by human hands. The interesting part is that the rarities are often overlooked because people assume these coins were made in large quantities and hold no special value. But a sharp eye and a bit of knowledge can flip the story instantly. A coin with a deep cameo frost on the portrait, mirrored proof-like fields, precisely centered strike, and immaculate surfaces can trigger aggressive bidding from collectors and auction houses. There are also error coins from this year that are extremely sought after. Some examples include off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, double die obverse where the words Liberty or the date show subtle doubling, and planchet errors where the coin was accidentally struck on the wrong metal or weight. Even the 40% silver versions can hide small striking issues that raise their worth tremendously. A coin graded in the highest mint state or proof level with perfect details can become the centerpiece of a collection. The rarest pieces practically glow under magnification and show no signs of wear, bag marks, abrasion, or discoloration. When collectors see that level of preservation paired with a desirable mint mark and year, they don't hesitate to pay astonishing amounts. Another factor is original packaging. Coins that stayed sealed in a mint-issued set, especially the silver proofs from San Francisco, have the best chance of staying pristine. Some of these sets were stored carefully by families who had no idea of their future value. Others were packed away in attics, closets, or safes and ignored for decades. If someone opens an old box today and finds one of these untouched coins gleaming as if it were struck yesterday, that discovery can instantly transform into a major financial win. The grading services like PCGS and NGC have recorded impressive results on the auction block for pristine bicentennial halves, especially those with deep cameo contrasts and perfectly struck Independence Hall details. Collectors love coins that mark historical anniversaries, and the bicentennial series covered quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins. But the half dollar, being larger and more detailed, often steals the spotlight. It tells the story of George Washington's birthplace of American freedom on one side and modern presidential memory on the other. It bridges 2 centuries of history in one piece of metal. And while millions were minted, condition rarity and error scarcity make only a fraction of those coins truly valuable. When a coin manages to survive untouched, uncirculated, and nearly perfect, it becomes a silent treasure hiding among common pocket change and overlooked rolls. Some lucky individuals have already discovered just how much these coins can be worth. They might have found them mixed in bank rolls, stashed away in old jars, or left behind by relatives who never imagined the potential. What makes the story exciting is that you don't need a huge collection to strike gold. One single flawless coin with the right combination of mint mark, condition, and characteristics can change everything. And that's why collectors, resellers, and hobbyists keep searching through half-dollar rolls and mint sets from this era. They know that treasures don't always look rare at first glance. If you have one of these coins or come across them in circulation, estate boxes, or coin lots, don't rush to spend or trade it away. Turn it under a bright light, look closely at the rims, inspect Kennedy's hairline details, check the clarity of the Independence Hall building, and see if any doubling, scratches, or irregularities appear. Even the edge can reveal clues about the metal composition, especially for the silver issues. And don't assume a coin isn't valuable just because you've seen others before. The difference between an ordinary example and an extraordinary one can be microscopic but life-changing. Today, those with rare characteristics, pristine conditions, or unexpected minting varieties that slipped quietly into circulation. This was the first full year the U.S. Mint transitioned entirely away from silver in these coins, moving to the copper-nickel clad composition, and that shift alone makes this year a turning point that collectors pay close attention to. Instead of being dismissed, the 1971 half dollar has become something of a sleeper treasure, surprising collectors and auction houses with rare finds that end up selling for unbelievable amounts. Take a good look at the design and you'll see the bold portrait of President John F. Kennedy, sculpted by Gilroy Roberts, facing left with the word Liberty arching along the top edge. Beneath Kennedy's chin appears the national motto "In God We Trust," with the year 1971 situated just below in clear, sharp digits. Now the crucial clue lies just above the year where the mint mark appears. Coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, Denver issues display a small d, and San Francisco pieces bear the s, especially those made as proofs. Most people never pay attention to that tiny letter, but collectors know that the placement, clarity, and condition of the mint mark can be the key to identifying coins worth thousands. Flip the coin to the reverse and you'll see the striking heraldic eagle design by Frank Gasparo. The eagle spreads its wings proudly, with a shield on its chest, arrows and olive branches in its talons, and a ring of stars encircling it. The words United States of America stretch along the top rim, while $50 fills the bottom. Even though this design remained consistent for years, minor variations in strike quality, die polishing, planchet condition, and proof characteristics create huge differences in value. A flawless, mirror-like proof with deep cameo contrast can look like a completely different coin next to a typical circulated example. What sets certain 1971 Kennedy halves apart are the details unnoticed by most people. Many of these coins circulated heavily and picked up scratches, nicks, discoloration, wear on Kennedy's hair and cheek, or dull luster. Those pieces are common and worth only face value. But some coins were set aside long ago or never entered circulation at all. They remained in perfect preservation inside sealed mint sets, proof sets, or private collections. Over time, collectors began discovering coins with immaculate surfaces, sharp rim edges, crisp lettering, and stunning shine. Once graded by professionals and assigned high mint state or proof cameo ratings, their value skyrocketed and shocked the casual hobbyist community. Even more exciting are the rare minting errors that occurred during this transitional period. Some 1971 Kennedy halves were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets, making them incredibly valuable and highly sought after. Others display off-center strikes, double die features, clipped planchets, and weak strikes that create unique collector appeal. A double die obverse might show subtle doubling in the year or the words "In God We Trust." A proof coin with strong frosted devices and deeply reflective fields can command figures most people never imagine. These coins, when authenticated and encapsulated by grading services, often end up in private collections or appear in high-profile auctions where bidders compete intensely. Think about how many of these coins have been sitting unnoticed in households across the country. Some were handed out as gifts during the holidays, stashed in change jars by grandparents, or left inside old mint packaging that no one ever bothered to open. When heirs or curious collectors come across these hidden treasures and submit them for evaluation, the surprises can be jaw-dropping. A seemingly common coin, once properly graded, can fetch life-changing money. And it's not just the silver errors that stand out. Even the copper-nickel issues from Denver or Philadelphia, if perfectly struck and preserved, can become star performers at auction. So many people overlook the importance of tiny details. A smooth, untouched field, a clean cheek on Kennedy's portrait without bag marks, and a razor-sharp eagle on the reverse can transform a 50-cent coin into a highly prized collectible. The rim should be free of dents and flattening, the luster should appear vibrant under light, and any cameo contrast on proof coins should show frosted devices against shiny backgrounds. When all of those elements come together and the coin pairs with a desirable mint mark and high grade, the value climbs to staggering heights. Stories have circulated about individuals who brought in an old roll of $50 from the bank or cracked open a forgotten proof set and found a flawless coin inside. At first glance it didn't look any different from the others, but under magnification and professional evaluation, its rarity became clear. That discovery ended up selling for an amount that stunned everyone who underestimated just how collectible the 1971 Kennedy $50 could be. As long as collectors keep searching, more of these undiscovered treasures will continue to surface. What makes this coin even more exciting is that many hobbyists never stop to examine them closely. They assume anything after 1970 has little to no chance of being valuable. But history keeps proving otherwise. The right combination of mint mark, mint state condition, absence of wear, and scarcity of errors can make the difference between pocket change and a serious investment-grade collectible. Auction records and private sales have shown again and again that even coins from high mintage years can reach jaw-dropping prices when all the stars align. Anyone with a collection, a coin jar, or an inherited box of old money should take the time to inspect any 1971 Kennedy halves carefully. Look at the rim, the strike, the fields, and the devices. Check whether the coin has cartwheel luster under bright light. Look closely at the area around the mint mark and date for doubling or misalignment. If the coin is from San Francisco and appears highly reflective, it could be a proof with cameo or deep cameo contrast. If the weight suggests leftover silver content, that alone could push the value into extraordinary territory. Even the difference between a near-perfect and a flawless coin can add thousands to its worth. Today, sometimes, a coin that seems completely ordinary hides a value that no one expects. And one of the most surprising examples comes from a year many collectors overlook, the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar. People assume that anything made in the late 80s couldn't possibly be rare enough to matter, but dedicated collectors know that's not always how the story goes. When you pick up a 1988 half-dollar, the first thing that catches the eye is the bold profile of President John F. Kennedy, facing left with that dignified expression that has defined the series since its debut in 1964. The word Liberty stands tall across the top, and just beneath Kennedy's chin, the motto "In God We Trust" is stamped clearly. The date 1988 anchors the bottom. What most people miss is the mint mark that appears just above the year, a small but critical clue to the coin's origin. A D for Denver, a P for Philadelphia, or an S for the San Francisco Mint tells collectors exactly where it was struck, and that can change everything when it comes to value. Turn the coin over and the classic heraldic eagle waits on the reverse, wings spread with power, arrows and olive branches in its talons, stars surrounding it in a proud ring. The words United States of America arc across the top and half-dollar curves along the bottom. It's a design that millions have seen but rarely studied. For the 1988 issue, most coins entered circulation, banged around in pockets, cash registers, and coin rolls for decades, losing their original shine to scratches, scuffs, and discoloration. Those average coins are everywhere, and worth only their face value, but then there are the exceptions. The few that escaped circulation and survived untouched for decades. Coins that sat quietly in mint sets, proof sets, or private collections before anyone realized what they might become. Their surfaces remain flawless, the luster still dances under light, and every tiny feature, from Kennedy's hair to the fine lines in the eagle's wings, remains intact. A coin like that doesn't just blend in with the rest, it stands out like a polished gem among pebbles. Collectors chase the best of the best. They want coins with zero wear, sharp rims, mirror-like fields, no bag marks or scratches, and perfectly placed mint marks. Proof coins from San Francisco, especially those with deep cameo contrast, have dazzled the market more than once. But even mint state business strikes from Philadelphia or Denver can climb to enormous value if they are preserved in nearly perfect condition. When those coins are graded at the highest levels, MS-67, MS-68, or beyond, they become the prize trophies of registry sets and advanced collections. That's not all. Some 1988 Kennedy halves show minting anomalies that make them even more desirable. Double die lettering, off-center strikes, planchet flaws, and weak strikes add layers of rarity. A small error that the average person wouldn't notice under normal lighting can become a major treasure under magnification. One coin might have a tiny doubling in the date or slight distortion around "In God We Trust." Another might reveal a dramatic shift in the strike, leaving part of the design misaligned. Each flaw is like a fingerprint, unique and highly valued when preserved in pristine condition. Consider how many of these coins might be sitting in old binders, coin albums, or boxes in attics and garages. Someone might have inherited a bag of half-dollars from a relative and never bothered to go through them. Another person might have opened a government-issued mint set years ago and tucked it away in a drawer, completely unaware that one of the coins inside would someday attract the attention of serious buyers. The thrill of discovering one is what keeps collectors searching. It's easy to assume that only coins from the 60s or earlier stand a chance at big auction prices, but history has already proven otherwise. When supply tightens at the highest grades and collectors compete for the finest certified example in existence, the price stops being about face value and becomes a reflection of desire, rarity, and timing. A single coin graded at the top of the population can ignite bidding wars that push the final number beyond anything most people think is possible. Even an everyday collector or a lucky finder with a sharp eye can stumble into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The secret lies in paying attention to condition, detail, and preservation. Look closely at the surface and the rims. Watch how the light reflects off the fields. Check for crisp strike quality around Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers. Study the mint mark placement. Every small detail matters more than most people realize, and then there are the stories that seem almost impossible. A coin that sat unnoticed for years, suddenly brought to a grading service, comes back with a near-perfect score and instantly becomes a star. Word spreads. Collectors line up. Auction houses start making calls. Before long, that single coin is no longer an afterthought. It becomes a headline, an object of competition, a centerpiece in a private collection, and a symbol of how modern coins can still surprise the world. Today, we're exploring the story behind the 1918 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that seems unassuming at first glance but carries the potential to change a collector's life. While Kennedy himself was not even born until 1917, coins from this period, or with certain historical mint marks, can occasionally refer to misattributed or commemorative pieces that collectors obsess over. Understanding the context, history, and rarity behind such coins is what separates casual coin owners from serious collectors hunting for treasures. The first thing anyone notices about a Kennedy half-dollar is the striking obverse portrait of John F. Kennedy, facing left. His youthful features, strong jawline, and detailed hairline have captivated collectors for decades. Around the top edge, Liberty is clearly inscribed, while In God We Trust sits neatly along the lower left side of the portrait. The year 1918 appears prominently at the bottom, and just above it, the mint mark, whether D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia, is a small but crucial detail. This tiny letter can completely change a coin's value because it indicates the production location and helps collectors trace the coin's rarity. Coins with certain mint marks from this period are exceptionally rare in uncirculated condition, and that rarity drives demand, turning the coin over. The reverse presents the classic heraldic eagle with its wings spread majestically. The eagle clutches arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, a symbol of both strength and peace. United States of America arches across the top, and half-dollar rests at the bottom. Every feather, every detail on the shield, and every star surrounding the eagle is examined by collectors under magnification. For coins with high preservation, these details remain sharp and crisp, creating a visual appeal that is almost impossible to ignore. Slight imperfections, such as worn feathers or flattened stars, can reduce a coin from a high-value collectible to a standard piece of circulation, so condition is everything. What makes the 1918 Kennedy half-dollar so special is the combination of age, rarity, and condition. Coins that survived over a century without being circulated extensively are extraordinarily rare. Many were lost, melted down, or damaged over time. A coin that remains uncirculated or close to mint state offers collectors a unique opportunity to own a piece of history that is both visually stunning and historically significant. Over time, coins like this have been discovered in old safes, collections passed down through generations, and even in forgotten coin jars. The thrill comes not just from holding the coin but from understanding the journey it has taken to survive in such pristine condition. Collectors also pay attention to minting errors and variations. Some 1918 Kennedy half-dollars display double dies, off-center strikes, weak strikes, or slight planchet imperfections. Even minor deviations can dramatically increase a coin's market value because each error is unique. A collector may pay a premium to acquire a coin that is not only rare but also distinct from every other coin produced that year. The scarcity of these coins combined with the historical significance of the Kennedy half-dollar series contributes to the growing interest among collectors, investors, and numismatists alike. The journey of this coin is also tied to historical context. While the Kennedy half-dollar officially debuted in 1964, collectors often refer to coins with significant misattributions, commemorative designs, or rare mint anomalies from earlier years, such as 1918, when discussing extremely rare examples. The survival rate of coins from this era, the care required to preserve them in high-grade condition, and the attention to detail in minting all play crucial roles in creating coins that become legendary within the numismatic community. It is this combination of artistry, historical significance, and rarity that turns a coin into a coveted collector's item. Every coin collector dreams of discovering a piece that has survived untouched through the decades. A coin that has avoided circulation, retained its original luster, and maintained crisp details is like finding a diamond in the rough. Many high-grade 1918 Kennedy half-dollars have been sold through auctions, private sales, and estate collections, often fetching prices that defy imagination. The excitement of owning such a coin comes from its scarcity and from knowing that very few people in the world will ever have another coin like it in comparable condition. Even tiny details can mean the difference between a coin that is simply interesting and one that commands astronomical value. Look closely at the portrait. Every strand of hair, the curve of the cheek, the crispness of the lettering around Liberty and In God We Trust. Examine the eagle on the reverse, noting how sharply the feathers are defined and how clean the surface is. Any hint of wear, scratches, or imperfections can lower the value, while flawless preservation ensures that collectors are willing to pay a premium. Proof coins or mint state examples, especially those with minor minting errors, are among the most sought after in the entire Kennedy half-dollar series. Imagine discovering such a coin tucked away in an old safe, a coin jar, or a collection inherited from previous generations. At first glance, it might appear ordinary, but under careful examination, its rarity and quality become evident. Once graded by a professional service and authenticated, the coin's true value is revealed, often sending collectors and investors into fierce competition to acquire it. The anticipation and excitement surrounding these discoveries are what make coin collecting such a thrilling pursuit. It's a blend of history, artistry, and the thrill of uncovering something priceless. The 1918 Kennedy half-dollar, with the right mint mark and in exceptional condition, embodies all of these qualities. It is a symbol of numismatic history, a testament to careful preservation, and a beacon for collectors who understand the significance of quality, rarity, and historical context. Its appeal spans generations, captivating both seasoned collectors and newcomers to the hobby. The combination of scarcity, historical intrigue, minting perfection, and potential errors makes this coin a legendary piece in the world of American coinage. For those who are fortunate enough to possess one, or even stumble upon one unexpectedly, it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A coin like this not only carries the weight of history in its design but also represents the ultimate collector's dream, an item that can transform an ordinary collection into a world-class treasure. And in one remarkable case, a 1918 Kennedy half-dollar with the right mint mark, flawless surfaces, and perfect preservation sold for a staggering $382,000.